Welcome to the TID Plus webinar. I hope everybody can hear me okay. We have about 45 people registered. Not everybody is here yet, but we'll give it a little bit of time to see if more people sign up. I'm pretty confident that they will. This is our first webinar, so we're quite excited and also a bit nervous to do this. Now, how does this work? On your screen, you see what we project on it, so what we want you to see. That will be slides in the first place, and afterwards we will go all into the tool. The audio is available via Ustream TV. The link should be in this webinar info box. We had planned to do a Skype cast, but there were too many people who had problems with Skype casts, so in the end we decided to go for Ustream. That means that you can't talk back. You can though type questions into the question and answer module, which you see on your right hand in the right hand side of your screen in this little toolbar for the webinar. So you have this arrow down, question and answers. If you type something in there, that will pop up on my screen, and then we'll address your questions. Probably most of them at the end of the webinar, and some of them if it's is necessary to answer them immediately, then we'll do that immediately. Who are we? We are the people from the TID Plus project team. With me in the room is Professor Alexander Trexel from the European University Institute, Dr. Andrew Glencross, also from EUI, and then my colleagues from the e-Governance Academy, Nele Leosk and Peter Marvet. My name is Steven Seegaert, and I'm the project manager for TID Plus. So we would first like to tell you something about the project, but before I do that, let me just launch a little poll to see if everybody is connected to the audio. So if you see this popping up on your screen, you just have to click yes or no, depending on what your situation is, and then we'll see the results. So I see that one person is not connected to the audio stream. I'll leave this poll a little bit open because it's a bit too bad if you can't see it via the audio, or if you can't listen in via the audio stream. %56 has voted, so those who didn't do it yet. Okay, I'll close that up for now and get started. I hope that the persons who answered no on the audio stream now actually have managed to find it. So TID Plus, what is it all about? Well, TID Plus stands for Today I Decide, and that refers to the Estonian acronym for the people who know that of TOM. I'm not going to tell you that how it sounds in Estonian, because my colleagues here will make fun of me for the next few days. So Today I Decide was actually a tool that was launched in 2001 by the Estonian State Chancellery, and it was a tool that was meant for citizen participation. The idea was that citizens could launch ideas, could comment on them, vote on them, and that these ideas would be sent into government with the main aim of influencing legislation or regulation. This was a very good idea. We've been all knowing and liking that system for quite a long time. But in at the end of 2005, when the European Commission launched a question under the e-participatory preparatory action plan, launched a question for ideas, for project proposals, we thought that this would be an ideal moment to have another look at Tom and to actually see what we could do with this tool from an international perspective. You have to know that at the time, 2005, the future of Tom was very uncertain. There were debates going on whether or not this would still be kept, well, whether or not it would still be maintained, and actually some people were actually thinking of doing away with Tom altogether, which would be a shame because you would throw away 5 years of 5 years of Estonian experience and not make that available on the international forum. So, in the framework of this e-participation work program, we launched a project, the project TID Plus. Uh, Today I decide refers to Tom, as I said, and the plus refers to the international perspective. So what we tried to do was to develop a tool that can be made available to anybody and can be used internationally, and that also incorporates all the experiences, the by now 7 years experience that was gained in Estonia. This is the e-participation framework. In the first call for projects, and which led to the e-participation program 2006, you see that TID Plus is there amongst as one of 6 projects. By now, there was also a call for 2007, and many more projects have joined, amongst which I would point especially to the Momentum project, because the Momentum project is actually one project which is conceived to support all the other projects. Everybody knows that you can do many projects, but if you don't manage to disseminate results, then it's in part pretty useless. Well, the Momentum project is one of these projects. Is a project that will help the other projects to disseminate their results and to make known to the world what they have done. Okay, who are we? The project team, TID Plus project team, consists of 3 partners. The Estonian State Chancellery, which is a government institution and connected to the Prime Minister in Estonia, which helps other ministries to do their work, and also picks up things that are connected to many ministries together. So they were ideally placed to do the whole e-participation activity in Estonia. Then we have the e-Governance Academy, where I am from. We are a non-governmental, non-profit organization founded for the dissemination of best practices concerning e-governance. That's how we started out. But in the 5 years, 6 years that we're busy, we have of course also launched our own studies and developed many more activities than this. And then there's the European University Institute, more precisely the Robert Schuman Center for Advanced Studies, which is actually our academic partner, and Professor Trexel is of course the high representative of that institute. You can see from the pictures on your screen who has the nicer offices. So what is then this relation between Tom and TID Plus? Because the question during the project was then, okay, but if you are going to use the old Estonian Tom tool and convert that into something else, what is then the added value? What is the difference? Well, the Tom tool doesn't exist as such anymore. In June, the Tom tool was actually incorporated into a wider framework, a wider e-participation framework called Osale. And the osale.ee website is larger than e-petitions. It's also larger than e-consultations. It's actually a comprehensive site where people can participate. The Tom software is still somewhere in this portal, but then changed. It is not anymore the old Tom software. And that is to be found under the IDET tab, for those of you who understand Estonian. But what we actually did was take this old Tom software, update it, and make it a standalone application available in English and adaptable and customizable. So it's clear that these two are quite separate. The old Tom was a standalone application, while the new version, the new Estonian version, is embedded in an e-participation portal. The international version or changed version TID Plus is again a standalone application which can be embedded into wider framework but doesn't really have to be. One of the problems with disseminating the experience gained in Estonia was of course the language. Tom has been so far a very Estonian affair. It was not only published only in Estonian, but it also was conceived with in mind all the choices that are very relevant for the Estonian society, but not necessarily relevant for other people, other countries, other institutions who want to launch a similar initiative. Tom was also licensed only for use within Estonia. The TID Plus project has consistently chosen to open this up and to make this available freely available for everybody. That's why we have chosen for an open source application, for a FOSS application. And that means that the software, the resulting software is both free in the sense that you don't have to pay for it, and it's also free in the sense that anybody can adapt and add to it and use it, experiment with it, make their own versions. To make that happen, we made it adaptable for use by any entity, governmental or not non-governmental, and we've also, of course, added the new functionalities that shall we widely refer to that as Web 2.0. So the idea was to not have just to have an application that people just use, concentrated just on that, but that people can actually embed in their daily activities. So you will see that we have built-in syndication, and we've made it easier for people to take this up into their already busy daily list of things to do. TID Plus is also scalable and customizable, and not only is the software there, but there will also be English practical and conceptual documentation available. How did we get there? The first thing we needed to know what actually was wrong with Tom. And the reason why we say what was wrong with Tom is because after an initial big success, we noticed, or everybody noticed, that the enthusiasm for the Tom system went down quite rapidly. And of course we wanted to know why, because we wanted to know if it's actually relevant to have such a tool. So at the beginning of the project, we launched quite an extensive and thorough analysis of why this actually was true. Not only considering the figures and the statistics, but also looking at what people actually think about this, how this is perceived. Now, the main outcome of this is that debates are seen as a bit too narrow and too easily dominated. However, this is a very condensed conclusion. The full analysis is available on the website tidplus.net. So if you're interested in that, I would invite you to go and have a look. So once we've figured out what was wrong with Tom, or got a better insight in how it could be improved, we set out to explore what we could actually practically do to make this better. And that actually breaks down in two parts. There is a part of technical things that you can do better. What is technically possible to be added in order to make this more integrated in other activities, to make this more usable. So we have developed a set of technical specifications where we also had quite a lot of attention to insert the possibility to come to some kind of a self-moderated system. You have to realize that having such a system for a government is not that easy. Governments have to actually invest quite a lot of time and manpower in managing something like this. You have to look at the ideas, you have to follow it, you have to answer it. Um, if you make it easier for citizens to enter this kind of information, it also means that you will have a bigger workload in having to answer them and in having to organize this answering. So to take part of that workload away, we have aimed to make this system to make it possible for the system to be self-moderated. So we've added tools such as the fact that users can rate comments. Users can also flag comments as inappropriate. There's also an option in the tool to actually have users moderate their own discussions. That's a technical part, but there is also a policy part, a procedural part. And that goes to the question of how is the e-participation tool used best and most effective. So together with the technical part and with the software, we have also developed a set of procedural specifications on how to use e-participation to its full relevance. So that actually goes to which options carry which consequences. If you, for instance, allow users to do complete self-moderation of their ideas, what does that mean for your system? If, for instance, you allow users to use pseudonyms instead of their real identity, what kind of an impact does that have on your procedure? How does this affect how your system will start to behave? So with all this knowledge in our pocket, we set out to develop TID Plus. Now we're not technical people, we're more policy people. So we of course subcontracted that to a firm, an Estonian firm called Vertical. And we have developed it, as I said, in open source. Now we had a choice between GPL and EUPL. I think we did them both. We did them both in the end. And the reason why we did that is to make sure that it's as widely available and as open as possible. And then, of course, once you have such a tool ready, you have to start testing and fine-tuning. We were helped very much by our partners, our partners of the State Chancellery, because while we were developing the TID Plus software, they were integrating the old TOM into the new OSALE. And they actually looked at what we did, and we looked at what they did, and we actually learned a lot from each other. And they managed also to test some functionalities that otherwise would have been very hard to organize. Of course, the real test is if anybody will actually download the system, download the software, and actually start to adapt it and start to use it. So that will be, of course, no, that will be the real test of the matter, and then we will really see if what we did was actually proves actually to be applicable and proves to be relevant. What is available? What do we have as results? Well, we have the software. We have what we call a society-driven system of entering ideas and seeing them through. It's a do system. It's not just channeling information, but it's really getting people to participate in it. I think it's important to say that this is not a consultation system. The system is not really meant for governments to enter their own ideas and then to ask people what they think of it. It is meant for people to enter their ideas and their issues so that government can get a better view on what keeps people busy, what keeps people occupied, and how what lives in society. It is also not an e-petition system. Ideas are submitted for commenting before they are submitted to voting. And this is something that we have built into the software. This commenting phase is actually obligatory. You can't cancel that out. The reason for that is that this commenting is actually the essence of the system. E-petition systems exist, are very popular, but it's the commenting that gives the more valuable input and actually sets the system apart from from any system that calls itself e-petition system. It is also made, the software is also made so that it is very easy to maintain. the authority which implements it has a few advantages in using this. First of all, there's a whole lot of development that doesn't have to be done anymore because it's available for free. But the system also has management tools to make sure that administrators can actually easily keep track of what is happening and can interfere as much or as little as they want or as they can organizationally provide. Software is one thing, you also have to know what you have to do with it. And there, of course, we have the advantage of the Estonian experience because we've seen what works and what does not work. We can show the good things and the bad things, and we have tried or are trying, are still finalizing that. We're trying to make people actually realize what e-participation can be used for and what it cannot be used for, because that's also a very important question. Then, of course, we have the user manuals, but in short, next to the software, the tools are there to put it to its best use and to its most valuable use. So that's a bit about the project. We'll now go and have a look at the software itself. I would just like to take the opportunity to invite you to participate in this whole TID Plus project, because the project runs out at the end of this month. This is the project horizon. It would be a shame if this would be just somewhere in a folder in a cupboard, because it is meant to be used. So I would invite you to actually try it out, read the documentation, and send in your views and your comments, and that would very much help everybody out. I'm now giving the floor to Peter. It's a bit of a strange thing to say at a webinar. I'm going to give the screen to Peter.
Okay, hello from me. My name is Peter Marvet, and as Steven said, I've been related to the technical expertise of the system, also doing a lot of the analysis part and interviews with users and writing technical specs and stuff like that. So what you see is currently running our very, let's say, early beta version on address ideas tidplus.net. It's possible to go to the address, log in, and try to crash the system. Hopefully not during the webinar, of course. So currently, as Stefan said, our idea is to make it publicly available under very well-known licenses. And at the moment, just to demonstrate that it's running everywhere, this instance is hosted on DreamHost, on a cheap hosting platform for mostly weblogs and stuff like that. So perhaps for a larger system to be scalable, there is a need for more serious serving, but to demonstrate that it works there. So, as Steven said, this T Plus has grown out of what was in Estonian called Osalusweb, and the previous Estonian Today I Decide version. So you see, this is currently the Estonian version of that. In Estonian language, what I'll be demonstrating to you will be, of course, the English version. And I've been flashing a bit here a site which is also at the moment pretty similar, which is Dell's Idea Storm. We have been looking around for things that might be similar to our TID Plus, but and be free and open source software. Haven't found anything that we could just take and take into use. So we have written it or customized the Estonian version, which is written from scratch up in PHP using Cake PHP as the framework. So first, as in all of the systems, there is a possibility to register. In our system, when I'm registering, I'm going to give my real name. Like typically in the demo context, the things start to go slower during the demonstrating, of course. So the registration as it is, I probably will just log in with my typical username to show how it looks from a user side. So for reading, of course, there is no need to log in, but as I may want to leave some comments on or propose new idea during the demo, I'll better stay logged in. So what we have is we have ideas. These are the test ideas we have entered into the system. We can take, for example, here is one from the conference we did in Tallinn. And as you see, there are some bugs in the system yet, like the voting ends, and it seems to be still in the voting at the moment. Okay, the people can propose ideas. It's possible to view ideas. All of the ideas actually have also categorizations to make it easier for people to later find the ideas, because one of the things we found in the old Estonian TOM system was that it was really difficult to find previous ideas, or even if somebody would have liked to implement an idea, to retrieve it for later use. So we have keywords, we have categories, we have also added things to track the discussions outside our system, because what we have found in our usage analysis part is that the usage of the system tends to peak mostly at the moments when there is some specific idea that's popular, and we are seeing that this is actually the tag cloud for Estonian version, and we see Liiklus, which is traffic, and seems that there is tendency to have some kinds of ideas, and then they all usually tend to be the ones that bring in a lot of traffic. Now the question is how to spot where the ideas are being circulated on external forums. So there are typical digs and delicious and possibility to track the Technorati links. There is also a thing which is currently in the implementation phase, not ready, is to track incoming traffic using referrers and some ways to block possible spamming on this way. But it should find if some people are coming from the links in maybe newspapers website or any other discussion forum in, and link these discussions to the main idea to find ways, because I've been using the Tom for some lobby tests myself in Estonia, and I found that the inability to actually see where the discussion is going has been pretty much a problem for me. Now, it's possible to see the votes. As said, in this version we are using the real names, or so real as they are, to show. It's possible to also keep the username as a pseudonym to if the system administrators so wish. So voting, commenting, which is like any other commenting, possibility to actually vote up and down the comments and report unfit comments to administrator in case there is some very serious offensive flaming going on. Uh, with any idea, I can, of course, there are ways to invite friends to discuss. There is also a thing called watch list. So there are times when I've been seeing some ideas. Okay, it's cool, it's in discussion. I wouldn't like to participate in discussion, but I'd like to know when it gets to the voting phase, or I'd like to know later when it gets answered, so I can tag it for a watch list, so I can come later see ideas on my watch list and see what's their status, and it's possible also to get email updates in case there is change on the idea. All of this, let's say, spamming of the idea information is configurable. This is the default settings currently. So we have actually taken great pain to make sure people are notified when there is a change on their idea, the idea they have proposed or were participated. That's because if I look a bit, where do I have? I didn't take the slides, but there is a. Mm, mhm. Do, do, do. Oh, there is here the of the ideas we have found that about 1/3 of the authors even return to vote on their own idea and a bit more to comment on their own idea. So the previous Tom system was pretty much a place for people to dump their ideas and go away, which is probably very typical saying of somebody ought to do something about the problem. I think if we actually want something to change, we need to make sure that people are brought back and can stay more with their ideas. So we do have a system for letting them know. There is also additional possibility to tag categories for newsletters, which is something that admins can send out mail to promote ideas. Again, a way from the system side to make it possible to bring back people, because the previous system didn't have that, and despite the fact that maybe I am pretty internet savvy and I'd like to use different systems from email, then for a lot of users probably this is the easiest way to do something. Of course, when I'm talking about notifications, everything is also available as RSS. No? Okay, it's the better thing. It was here a couple of minutes ago. And also possibility to have the information published as iframes. This is currently not in very comfortable place, but that means that if somebody wants to take a category of ideas or new ideas and show them on their website or blog or wherever, it's possible to embed the part of the TID Plus into their website. Also on the idea side, there is a showing of latest and popular ideas to actually to bring up the content that people tend to like more. So this is that. So to make an idea, if a user has been has logged in, then there is a possibility to create a new idea, and well, there is, like always, there is the subject, the idea itself. There has been possibility to add attachments. Seems it's something I don't favor myself very much, because I like people to keep information on the internet, not in the way of files. But from the state side, there seems to be strong support for possibility to attach Word documents and PDF files. So it's possible here if somebody wants that, or a picture or whatever. There is adjustable time for commenting and voting. Currently, the uh, commenting must be for 3 days at least. This is adjustable in the admin side, so it's possible to have ideas also that go straight to the voting phase. Why? Because we found when looking at the Estonian TOM system that at the times when there were interesting disputes in society on a topic, then people tended not to use the possibility of Tom, because it took more time to get to the voting phase than the rest of the people collecting signatures on the street and on the paper or on purpose-made websites. So it's possible to say the commenting time and the voting time, also how long it is, category, and keywords. So uh, the idea typically goes, I can have it as a draft, which means that I can very well go and work longer on it. So I have another idea which has a bit more text, which I prepare before the presentation. So now that I have an idea, and I can edit it, and I can actually submit the idea. Now it goes to the queue of the admin user. I'll go in as admin to show also that. See. Okay, now I must have here the ideas from the admin side, so it's possible to see the idea that is waiting for acceptance. I can take the idea, I can check it. If it's possible, I can change it. It's possible to reject the idea if I think there is a reason this isn't fit. Maybe it contains political advertising or something else, so I can reject it, and there must be a good reason. So actually the user will get email and notice that the idea has been rejected, and why. If there is, for example, there is another idea currently running, I can add a link to that, and so I have actually currently rejected the idea. The user, if I go back in as the user, has of course the possibility to edit the idea. I will get also email for that, but I won't go to check my email at the moment. So I come here, I'm now user, and under my ideas, I shall see the idea from the webinar, which has been let's see if we can get it back on. Let's put another one also to make sure it works. Okay, and back as admin user. So here it's again possible to accept the idea. When it's accepted, it goes to the home page, and people can start commenting on that. While I am in the admin view, I can maybe say some other things. Here it's configurable, the settings which we have decided might be doable by admin users, like the easy things like categories, institutions, because the point of the TOM is that if there is an idea, it needs to be rooted to somewhere. If the idea is accepted by the users, then it's possible to add various, in our case, it's currently from the Estonian ministries, like we had it on TOM system. So possibility to edit help texts and messages that are on the website or sent as email. That's to make it easy to edit the language or create a new new language for the system and see the logs and so on. Of course, user management, where I can manage users, and here's also the thing for unfit comments, where I see if a user has been or something has been reported abusive, like I did when I was looking at the comments, so I can either delete the comment or clear the yes, it was my own, so very good, I can do that. Oh, okay, and of course rude. Mm, so now I can, it will be emailed to the user, so they will know what they have been doing badly. Um, Probably I think it's the important, most of the important part from the admin side. I think there isn't anything very important to show from here. So if I go back to the user view, then I can see, I think the comment was attached to the Coffee for People idea. So I should see there is only 2 comments, and there is a notice about the comment being deleted. So I felt myself very awkwardly when comments are deleted from the system without actually showing users that it has been deleted. So okay, and there is also possibility here, which I didn't comment earlier, the idea revisions. If the idea is changed during the process, so people are commenting, somebody is changing the idea, it's possible to see the previous versions, like in Wiki. There is currently no auto compare on that, but it's possible to add that as well. Now, anything else which we ought to show here? We have a possibility to log in 2 ways. There is the regular username and password login. If you prefer to use a OpenID from different system, OpenID is a uh, and system for linking different websites together. So one website can not not create a user and password for me, but I can use the login from a different website to log into, for example, the TID Plus website. There is a lot of websites providing OpenID. If you have a Blogger weblog, then that supports OpenID. LiveJournal has OpenID, and I think there is difficult to find systems that don't support that. So it's possible for me that I use currently my OpenID provider and log in as a user. Okay, now I'm logged in as my I think this is connected not to the user I was using for demo, but for my other demo user. Yes, the same user I earlier had been using to make the idea about SUVs. Now, aha, I think I didn't mention that it's currently different from the original Estonian system. Is we have provided user profiles for users to show statistics about their ideas, list of the ideas and comments from the particular user. So it's possible to say what kind of user it is. It's actually, when we were doing the analysis of the system, it was very interesting for me. I built a tool for myself that was a database browser where I could see an idea, at the same time the information about the user who had made this idea. Was it one of these more prolific users of the system? Was it a single time user? Was that the first idea of the user? It was very good to gather background information about the idea this way. So I think we might add some more information to the profile page and see what might be good for the system. Also, I think I did one presentation about Tom analysis and found that the most active users are sometimes not so happy about being shown as the most of active users of the system, which might be actually good, because if I look at the distribution of user activity, it's visible that top 10 users are probably who are creating most of the ideas in the system. If we can provide more information about the users, it's possible that they tend to deal more maybe with the ideas from the not so active users and so on. So let's see how it works. Now, one more thing. In Estonia, we happen to have also ID card, which is the citizen's digital identity. And so actually the TID plus system can use the OpenID to log into the system, and this in Estonia has been connected also to OpenID has been connected to our secure authentication system. So I can log into openid.ee. I have, which the webinar audience doesn't see, I have ID card in my connected to my computer. So the system noticed that. I had been trying it before, otherwise it would have asked also for my PIN code. And now I see I can use actually different identifications. The second one is let's say absolute identification. So the TID Plus system will know that I am the Peter Marvet, this particular citizen, and I have been authenticated. If for whatever reason I would like to remain anonymous, then I can actually use a anonymous identity. So the system knows there is a person who is the citizen of Estonia. This particular user has created only one user account, and uses that, but the TID Plus system knows nothing about my real identity. If there is, of course, for law enforcement requirements need to find out, then probably the police and courts can find out from the provider, but otherwise the system is disconnected from that. That's also because we have been finding in the original Tom system that the information you can find about people that is present on Tom, there is really a lot of that kind of information. So I think if I do have a screenshot also somewhere in the here's actually visible from Google Analytics website analytics tool, the incoming keywords from search engines, and the ones which I have hidden are actually real names of some of the users of the system. So it's visible that in the top keywords, top 10, there is two real names of users. So actually, the old Tom has been a system that is providing, I think, too much information about people. So it's possible to see if you type into the Google the name of somebody, you will very quickly find what positions they have taken on some issues and so on. And I don't think that's something that should happen. Um, yeah, in the meanwhile, there has been a question from Mr. Fail about which version of PHP and MySQL have been used. PHP has been 5, and MySQL is, oh, I don't know, whatever is running on the Dream host. So it should be running on basically any typical web hosting system. That's also why actually during the development the developer was using some of their own hosting. That was, I think, HostGator, and at some point we just made them to switch to my account on different system to show that it's easy to switch and get it running on other systems. And we have some minor glitches there, but we are working them to make it very easily deployable on whatever system. So. Mm, what else? What else? I think I have pretty much covered the whole round of the TID Plus. Currently, if you look, there is a pretty strange lorem ipsum banner on top. It will be replaced by better screenshots once we know we have the system finalized, so we can use the screenshots. It's just to easily demonstrate the users how something is happening. So it's as said, it's possible to try it out. We are currently in the phase when the developers are making changes. So if anybody has any any suggestions or ideas what to change, why to change, then it's possible to mail to us, or maybe make it just a new idea on TID Plus, and describe that we did earlier testing also in a way that to have some ideas to test the system with. We just used it itself for bug reporting. So mm, on the user profile, do you foresee to include some Facebook-like social network features for the software? I think the availability of some background information on every user fosters interaction. Yes, I think that's a good point to include other things. We currently have there things like the Skype usernames and things like that, and to add something to the profile should be pretty easy. And yes, possibility to probably have links to their weblogs and so on. Also, currently it doesn't show very well, but through the OpenID, it should be possible to link also to whatever other providers. So if the user Peter Marvet has OpenID defined, which isn't currently shown on the profile page, it should be also visible there, and I might get through it to my OpenID profile page where I can have whatever kind of information the provider has made it possible. But yes, I think connecting the other networks might be also cool, and finding ways to include the data from TID Plus as whatever widgets on Facebook and everything is, because I think the iframe solution we have here, I think it should be make the TID plus pretty easily implementable implementable in Facebook and elsewhere. So, has the TID Plus system actually been used for real discussions with real users so far? How do you plan to do this, as the project is now almost over? In Estonia, the Estonian version, we actually, as the TID Plus is a development from Estonian version, and Estonian version was ready earlier. So we had discussions in the closed beta phase. The system of let's see, Osale. This is the Estonian system, which is it's a earlier version of the same software, missing some of the functionalities we have added, mostly the connection to outside discussions and things like that. But basically, the system is being used live by users. So I think we can say it has been used. Now, actually, for me, one of the next targets is to find a way to get the TID Plus version of the software to also run on this Estonian Osalus Web, because currently they are running the old code, which was ready earlier, and when we have our one finally tested and everything works, then we try to get that over to this system. A technical question: how is the customization done? Only via CSS, or do you use a common templating engine with which one could work? Uh, um, no, I think that there is a CSS, and the I haven't been working on the customization side myself, so it's the basis of that is Cake PHP. I think there are some elements from that framework, but most of it is as templates for this system. So if you mean that, does it have templates from like other systems, then no, not at the moment, at least. So yes, any more questions? Steven is manning the moderator desk to get the questions. Would it not be better to use ideas like Google Friend Connect instead of building up another social network? This is not a social network. this is what we see is it's a channel into the official state system. In Estonia, it was established back in 2002 or 2001 when it started as a way to get such a more public letters to government and make the answers also public. And for that, I think that is part of the Estonian Tom's uh, story is that it, in a way, got accepted by the civil service. So this is something that partly is operated in Estonia by state chancellery, or it is operated in Estonia by state chancellery. It has in it functions on the admin side for routing the ideas to different ministries, maybe also to the parliament, because there has been also the question of why the ideas are not getting implemented on the state side. The reason has been often that because it isn't in the working plan of the ministry. So to get the idea into the working plan, we probably need to find a way to route it to other people. So I think that yeah, it's not a social network. It's a tool to bridge one kind of a digital divide and provide some tools that people have been interested in having. Any more questions? Do you have any idea on how to promote the submission of new ideas by users not in the top 10 of most active users? I think in systems like Tigger, so the feeling that just a few users initiate most of the debates and control the discussion. It's I think the question is that most of the promotion of the ideas, as much as I have seen from the analytics of the previous systems, is coming from outside. And most of the top 10 users often don't have the top 10 audiences elsewhere, especially outside the system. They might be very well present in the system, but not elsewhere. So the popular ideas which are getting traffic are hopefully the ideas coming from not so vocal users. So actually we've had a lot of, and actually really a lot of, like hours and hours of dispute what to do with the most active users. My point is to actually bring them down, make some kind of self-moderating karma system, which makes sure that same users don't dominate. From the e-democracy side, my colleagues are saying that no, this is not democratic, everybody should have the right and so on. So for that reason, there is currently no solution in it, but I'll be looking on ways to tune that to see what's the popularity of some single users and how to get them away from the top lists. Because if you see on the right side, here are the latest ideas. Is just to promote the latest ideas. The popular again by the views. It should not be only the ideas of the most active users. It's probably more from the users who are good copywriters and who can devise good headlines. Often the prolific users tend to not be very good at presenting their ideas. Also, the most voted, most commented tabs are something that maybe we need to add some more ways to bring it up. Another thing which I'm not sure if it comes out currently very easily in this view, but which has been which we are still working to show it, is because a lot of users are entering the system through search engines on actually a page of a random idea or not random but on an idea they have been looking information about. And if we want to see that if they come in on this particular idea and the system has ideas from the same category that might be also maybe in the voting phase at the moment or in the commenting phase, maybe this is old idea that has been finished already, then I'd like to show here on the right other related ideas. So if a user comes in and they are given options to find other ideas and find other uses for the system. The original Tom's problem was that it was very high ranking on Google search engine, and the bounce rate or the number of users who just came in, saw one page and left was very high. So we'd like to see to change that and find ways to keep the users on the page by providing them more information, like currently here are the other ideas at the same time visible if I just come to the idea. There was another question on the relative low amount of participation. Do you think that TID is heavily focused on text is a problem to motivate users to participate? Haven't looked at that on this way. We have seen that the biggest problem for people to participate has been that they have had tools that are working for them more easily, other tools. So if they wanted to make a petition, they didn't use the Tom or TID system, but they used some custom web application developed for that, and that was what was keeping them away. Also, we found that the discussions are happening elsewhere. So actually, the main question is how to tie the discussions together to the TID plus with the various linking possibilities to show, and to be actually happy if the discussions on the idea are happening elsewhere. It has been also with the Tom system that during the days of popularity, the discussions were actually happening on other websites sites which were mirroring the ideas that so the discussions were there. So I'm actually pretty unhappy that we don't have currently links to all of these discussions which we could also bring into the system and perhaps learn more about the behavior of users. So uh, no, not we haven't been thinking about making it more graphical. What I have been thinking is that there is a question if a system that becomes used is something like TID Plus that currently has a lot of features, or might it be better to have something like whatever there are various solutions where you can put up the idea and people can claim the idea or so on. They are much easier to use, and in a way I see that they might end up being more popular than a system with discussions and so on. Again, with TID Plus, the idea behind it has been to facilitate e-democracy and deliberation and discussion. That's why it has the discussion side, but I'm not very sure if it's the one to gain most of the popularity. But there definitely is a need and interest in systems to supply ideas, discuss them, vote, and through this somehow to prioritize that. One of the problems with the original Estonian TOM was that the as the number of people participating on an idea tended to be low, the civil service getting the ideas was saying that okay, this is just the idea of a couple of persons, so we need to find ways to get the participation there and have more people use and build the reputation for the system through that. Is there anything else on our queue? Who is the administrator, and based on what does she decide an idea can be published or not? Is there a threshold of votes above which officials are obliged to respond, or they respond to whatever they want? Now this is the question of implementation. It's again, it can be tuned depending on local requirements. In Estonia, the system is related to law about public letters or letters to officials, and there is a mandatory requirement to answer each and every idea in I think 30 days. So it must get an answer. There is no question about if it gets the answer or not. And um, so I think in Estonian system there is currently no limit on how many votes the idea must have to qualify, but there should be on admin side a way to actually set limits if it needs positive votes and how many positive votes it needs before it qualifies. So this is a part of setting the human rules for the system, which can be just described in help texts and web pages about the ideas. So what is the system? And the other question was about how the admins decide. Admin is currently in Estonian case, it's a civil servant who's working for a state chancellery, and their task is to they are also working according to their rules, and the rules are that the ideas that are not published or that are rejected, uh, if they the typical thing, if they contain unfit words, if they are rude on something, contain advertising, contain maybe political platforms or whatever. There are different things. What can be there are not, for example, in the as in the number 10 petition system in UK, there seems to be that political platforms are not okay. I think that isn't actually the case in Estonian things, so probably you could use that also uh, for collecting support to your political platforms. Did I answer that? Probably. Anything? I'll give to Steven the microphone.
Thank you, Peter. No, I just took over because there's two more questions that I would like to answer. One question is, will you develop specific pages for discussing modifying the text of specific laws and regulations? I think of some kind of wiki law provided the background of regulation necessary for well-informed deliberation could be interesting. Well, not really, because as I indicated, this is not a consultation system. If you talk about asking questions about prospective legislation or existing legislation, usually what happens is that a government official posts a proposal on a website. People can comment to a more or lesser extent, and that can go from just comments to actually uh, wiki style edit the law. This is what would go under the header of consultation. The system can be used for that, uh, but it's not meant to be used for that. How can it be used for that? Well, simply as an as a politician or somebody from administration identifies themselves in the system as such and posts an idea, posts a text, links to a wiki or links to another discussion page. It can be done for that, but it's not primarily set up to do consultation. It's set up to do actually um, citizen-driven, to collect the ideas coming from the citizen, coming from their own initiative, and not prompted. The menu is not set by the politicians, but the menu here in the TID Plus system is set by the citizen. Yeah. So I hope that answers the questions. Francesco had also a question: does the fact that you have an English version now more or less made ready implies that you want to promote TID Plus as a pan-European tool for e-participation? To what extent the results of your Estonian trial may affect this decision and the way it would be implemented? Um, that's a very interesting question. We don't have the ambition that everybody in Europe now should take this tool and use it. We also don't really have the ambition to make this a European platform for discussion. Uh, of course, they can. Any government can take this, and any government can use this. Any government can also adapt this in two ways by using the adaptation possibilities of the software, and if that is not enough, by changing the software itself. After all, it's free and open source. Um, but the main idea of the TID Plus project is not so much to have the final ready-made project that now we slap on a website and we try to get people into from all over the world to discuss via this platform. No, the main interest has been to show an example and to do part of the development work that governments usually don't really have time or money for. So a government who is now interested, we hope that this will make governments more interested in e-participation, and governments who are more interested, getting more interested in e-participation, can now have an example and now have a basis for discussion. We have talked before about what kind of number of votes is required for an idea to go through. Now that is something to be discussed by the people who implement it, but the point is that the TID Plus system pinpoints these discussion points, pinpoints these questions, and also shows what the consequence is of different answers. And I think there lies the value of this project more than in some possibility of implementing this as some kind of no system that and then trying to get as many people as possible to use this particular system. We hope the ID Plus will have many babies and many different developments, and we also hope that if people take this source code and change something and add some modules, for instance, an in system messaging system or something like that, that we also get that feedback, and then we can also integrate this into an ever improving version of the TID Plus that is now here before us. Peter, I see that you opened another screen, so I'll give you back the microphone.
Yes, I wanted to add that I'm currently showing the Estonian version of the system now, which, as seen in addition to the ideas part, that's like the TID Plus, has the consultations, which is where people from ministry. This is the one of the undersecretaries of the Ministry of Interior, Marek Helm, about the law of police and border guards, and is asking for comments about that. Here is the full text of the law proposal and the official comments on that, and there seems to be some kind of comments already also on that. So this is the side for discussing the law side. On the wiki side, I have been promoting the idea to actually convert the Estonian lawmaking to Wikibase to make it more easily editable and usable. The current process seems to be in Estonia going towards some kind of a XML-based system. We tend to be standardizing everything very nicely on XML. Uh, so there will be hopefully very easy machine readable versions of the law, and there will be possibility to, if when that becomes reality, to build some systems already on top of that. Although I would myself like to have the official system of law writing to be based on wikis, and maybe with some slightly additional semantic markup to make it easy for people to design the laws. So currently, as it's visible, most of the things in Estonia tend to be as documents. They are at least RTF to be uh, product agnostic, or how do you say? Uh, but yes, there is this. But and in Estonia, actually, there is a website called which has all of this preparation phase of the amendments available, but again, this is the one which is publishing the RTF files mostly. So we really want to move on this side to something more open. Shall I give it back to?
Thank you, Peter. I have no more questions on the. Oh, I do have one just popping up. I think a more organized way to show what the important points of the discussion are in a graphical and hierarchical way would help newcomers to join the discussion and generally to contribute with relevant ideas and remarks. Some kind of outline of the current discussion. I fear usually a huge list of comments does not encourage meaningful deliberation, since users become redundant and reiterative when there are too many comments to read. Of course, that is a very true remark, and it's a very uh, useful remark. We did not look at making this more visual. Um, I'm also not very sure on how this can be done. Peter probably has better ideas about that than I have, but
There has been a lot of discussion in Estonia about making the discussions more easily navigatable, and typically the comment from people who are running bigger systems is that the threaded discussions and everything, collapsible outlines and whatever, is good for people who are more professional in using these systems, and they are very strongly against using these for systems designed for average users, or typical citizen participating. So that's a kind of thing I would like to have more tools on that side, but there seems to be consensus, at least in Estonia, on keeping it simpler to let people participate. But yes, if there is a lot of I think most of the sites where if there is a lot of comments, there is a typically possibility that it's a flame war between some of the users, which turns the comment trail unusable anyway. Another thing is perhaps there is too much of users, because if there is the number of participants is above some threshold, the discussion tends to get less productive, to put it mildly. So I think the TID Plus's answer to that is that the software is available. It's possible to install smaller communities. Like there was a question about whether we want to make it the European platform. Well, we'd like the software to be used. We don't think it should be central sites for everything, but it's something that can be deployed and used for smaller communities for their tasks. So this is what I see about that.
Okay, thank you very much. I think we have reached the end of our webinar. I'm very happy to say that nothing crashed, the internet stayed on, no computers burned out, uh, no screens collapsed. All of that happened before the webinar, so it has been spared. It has been spared to you. I would like to thank you all very much for attending. When you exit this software, there will be a little questionnaire popping on your screen. It's not that big. It would help us a lot if you could answer that, so we can provide for a little bit of follow-up, uh, depending on your answers, of course. So thank you very much. Don't forget to visit the TID Plus project website. We have just changed that a little bit, and we're adding content as we go. And we hope that we can repeat this kind of initiative in the near future. Thank you very much, and enjoy your day, evening, night. I don't know where you all, in which time zones you all are, and we hope to see you soon later.